Hey, shalom. Welcome back. Here we are continuing with our Listen and Learn series, working through the book of Hebrew Shoftim, which is Judges. Today we will be continuing with Judges chapter 3, and depending on time, if I fit in the time we have designated for this lecture, we'll finish it. If not, then we'll finish next week. Chapter 3, that is, not the book of Judges. All right. I just want to impart a blessing upon all of you. Anybody listening to my voice, may Adonai richly bless your learning of Lashon HaKodesh. May He open up new pathways in your mind and new connections. May you be able to have wonderful memory and enjoy the richness that is in the Hebrew language. All right, so let's get started. Now tonight, or today, whatever the time is where you're at, it is our listen and learn focus, so I would like you to try to do the auditory learning if you can, even if it's not your primary learning style, unless you're just new to this. If you're just joining us, then feel free to look as much as you like. I have colorized my notes, my annotations in advance. So that's there. If you just have to have the visual thing, that's fine. But I won't be drawing on there, and I'm intentionally not showing my face today because I don't want to make you feel like you have to watch, all right? I'm really hoping that you can benefit from the auditory side of things. And feel free to come back and check the visual later. Or if you need to do the visual first to get more familiar with what's going on, that's also fine. You can look at what I've got up there on the screen today, and then later today or later this week, go back through and try to just give a listen without looking, right? But it's just there for whichever technique helps you to learn the best, all right? Okay, so special thanks to our patrons. I really appreciate all of you who support the work that I'm doing here. This is actually how we make a living, how I feed my family. And I really, really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, everyone who's able to contribute monthly to the work or to contribute sometimes when you have. And we also appreciate those of you who can't really afford to give right now. That's also fine. Who are here. You ask good questions. You still have the right to ask questions. Please don't feel like you can't comment in the premiere or the live teachings or in the comment sections, just if you're not giving. I will answer everyone bli neder, to the best of my ability, all right? Sometimes there's a glitch and I don't see that there's a comment, so if I didn't answer you, you were not ignored. I just didn't see it for some reason in the studio interface that I use, all right? Okay, let's get started. So first we will just scan verse 29, and even though there is a visual component to this for those who need it, I will be focusing as if you're all auditory learners today, all right? All right. Verse 29. Vayaku et Mואב ba'et ha-he ka'aseret alafim ish kol shamen vechol ish chayil velo noun+adj. Okay? Don't worry if you didn't get that. We're going to pick it apart now. Keep your eyes on the road if you're driving, please. I guess unless you have one of those awesome Elon Musk cars that drives itself, first world, then I guess you don't have to keep your eyes on the road then. Although I think technically you're supposed to in most states still. All right, let's continue. So the very first word, this is kind of hard to pick apart. It says vayaku, or if we use our tones, vayak. Ooh. Okay, so the ya and the ooh means they. So whatever the verb is, they are doing it or they will do it. Now, the vav conversive at the beginning is a vav with a ah sound under it and a dagesh in the yod, in the yo. This is a vav conversive, which is going to change the aspect from imperfect to perfect. So vayak u, whatever the verb means, it means they did it. Excuse me. Sorry, I covered the mic. I should have hit pause. They did it. Now, the verb is nacha. Nacha. Nun, kaf, he, which is a doubly weak verb. Nacha means to strike. If you've seen this in my Word of the Day series, it means bam, like strike, smack. They got Batman punching or whatever. And it's a doubly weak verb. So this guy can be very difficult to recognize. Oftentimes, both the first letter, the nun, will disappear, and the last letter, the he, will disappear. And that's what's happened here. It's va, ya, k, oo. So the nun is gone. It is assimilated to the kaf. So there's a dagesh in the kaf. Technically, there's two kafs. Vayak, ku. And the final he has gone away. Okay? So vayaku, and they smote. They struck, which usually denotes military victory. Et, we don't translate, the definite direct object marker, aleph tav, alpha and omega, Moav. And they struck Moav. That is a name, a proper name. All right? Vayaku et Moav. Vayaku et Moav. And they struck Moav. Okay, continuing on. Ba'ait ha-he. Ba'ait ha-he. And I'm reading these two words as a unit because we have a noun followed by an adjective, a demonstrative adjective. So, ait, ayin tav, would have been eith in ancient Hebrew. This means a specific time or a season. And then he, it's hey yod aleph, he, well that means she. Now, ait just happens to be feminine. You can't tell by looking at it or by listening to it, but a lot of nouns that end in, and someone asked me this in YouTube, I gave an answer today. How do I know which ones are masculine or feminine? As a rule of thumb, if the word ends in a tav or a he, then very often that will be feminine. All right, so here it's ending in the tav, so it's feminine. All right, so the bait in ba'ait ha-he, the bait means in or at. And then we have the sound, listen, ah. It's b, ah. That's a comma. It's b, ah. So bait in, ah. That's left over from ha, from the. So b, ah. In, ah. In the right time, ha-he. Ha, the, he, the she. In the time, the she. Or in the time, the that one. Now we make it sound better in English. Ba'ait ha-he, in that time or at that time. So the beginning of verse 29, vayaku, vayakku, and they smote et Moav, Moav. Ba'ait ha-he, in the time, the that one, at that time. Continuing. Ka aseret alafim. So these two words are in a construct relationship. Now the ka, it's a kaf at the beginning. Ka, that means like or as. And this can be used for approximation. So about, I'm going to say about, aseret means 10 of, it's from asara, 10 of, so aseret of, alafim, thousands, from the word elef, 1,000. Alafim, thousands. So about aseret, 10 of, alafim, thousands. So ka, about, aseret, 10, alafim, thousands. Ish, kol, shamein. Ish, kol, shamein. So ish, aleph yod shin, means man. Kol, kaf lamed, means each one, or all of them. Shamein. Shamein, shin, mem, nun, is related to the word, a word you might know already, shemen, or you might hear it as shemen zayit. Shemen means oil, or sometimes it can mean fat, right? Shamuna, It's a kind of fat that you can eat. So shemen, also the fatty ashes on the altar, are called the shemen. So in this case, it's describing what kind of man. So you could understand it as corpulent, but really the idea of ish kol shamen, it means like they were well, they had good nutrition, they were healthy, right? They were healthy, they weren't like starving or something, right? So the 10,000 that were struck, it's telling us what a good victory it was. These weren't like skinnies or something. These are ish kol shamen, right? Ka, like or about, the aseret, tent of alafim, 1,000. Ish kol shamen, man, each, healthy. V'chol ish chayil. V'chol ish chayil. Ve, it's a vav, and chol, kaf lamed, every one of them was an ish chayil. This is a construct chain, so it's an ish, a man of chayil. Chet, yod, lamed. Now you might know this word already, especially if you like to sing songs on Erev Shabbat and such. If you do some of the traditional songs, it's traditional for a man to sing to his wife or the women in the household. Eshet chayil mi yimsa ve'achok mi penini micha batach balev ba'alal v'shalalo. Sorry, it's my throat's, I'm fighting off a bit of illness here, so not sure if that sounded so great, but it's hard to stop that song once you start. My favorite part is Pitach, was it Pitach? Piha potacha v'chochma v'torat chesed al leshona. So it's like kind of a lot of alliteration there happening, right? Piha potacha v'chochma. Love it. Her mouth is open with wisdom. The Torah chesed, and the Torah of grace, al leshona, is upon her tongue. So, all right. See, there's no opposition between grace and Torah. The Torah of grace, Torat chesed. Beautiful, from Mishlei, from Proverbs 31. All right, sorry, we digress. So that's an Eshet Chayil, which is an Isha of Chayil, a woman of valor. This is Ish Chayil, a man of valor, which is what we see in our mighty and brave soldiers fighting now to end the world of the Islamo-fascists in Hezbollah and Hamas. We've had 800 valiant warriors have fallen. Please continue to pray for these mighty men and women of Israel. So, Ish Chayil is a soldier. Usually the understanding is a soldier, right? A man of valor. The Chol Ish Chayil. And every one of them an Ish Chayil, a man of valor, right? Ish Kol Shamen, it's man, it's being used like a collective noun, right? It's obviously anashim, right? Men who were Kol Shaman, each one of them healthy, muscular, etc. V'chol ish chayil, and each one of them a man of valor, so a soldier. Some interpretations of ish chayil, depending on context, and see this to mean like special forces, right? They're really good ones. I'm not sure we can justify that there, because we do have other words like giborim, which are like heroic men of valor, that sort of thing. But and anshe shem, men of renown. But maybe that can be part of the understanding. Like they're very good fighters, it could be saying. Okay? So far we have, in verse 29, Vayaku, and they nachad et Moav, eit, at, the eit, at the eit, he, that one, at that eit, at that time. Ka aseret alafim, according to or like, about, that's the ka. Aseret, from asara, aseret, tent of alafim, thousands. So about 10,000. Ish kol shamen, men, each one healthy. V'chol ish chayil, and each one a man of valor. Velo nimlat ish. That's vav, don't confuse it with beit. Even though in ancient Hebrew it was a W sound, there is no doubt about this among scholars, okay? So if someone's telling you that the vav, like in God's name, was a V sound, that is patently false. And if you'd like to learn more about this, I have a video on this channel where I discuss the pronunciation of the ancient vav. And in that video, I link to a document which I made, a PDF, that links to 77 scholarly monographs and peer-reviewed papers in scholarly journals. And every single one of them transliterates the ancient vav as a W because it's understood by everybody who knows anything that it was a W. Not meaning when it's a vowel, but meaning when it's a consonant. And W actually transitions easier over that way, if you think about it. So anyway, before I get sucked into that, that's there. So but we use the Israeli pronunciation for the sake of Kalal Yisrael today. That's why I don't say welo. I will only pronounce it as a W when I'm reading a name, right? Like instead of Adam and Chava, which is how we usually call her in Jewish circles, we say Adam and Chawa, because that was her name. I don't think we should be intentionally changing the pronunciation of names. But here it's ve. So and lo, not lo, but lo, lamed aleph. And not, nimlat. The verbal root is mem, lamed tet. And in the Niphal, this occurs in the Niphal. I don't think we see it in the call. That's what the preformative noon is there. It doesn't mean we will escape. It means he escaped. Nimlat. Nimlat, he escaped. And then the subject is ish, aleph yod shin, a man. So velo and not, nimlat, escaped, ish, a man. Nobody escaped, even though they were ish kol shaman and chol ish chayil. None of them escaped. It's showing us how mighty the victory was. Kind of like in the War for Independence, defeating massive quantities of Arab armies who were armed by the British, and the Arab League trained by the British. By the way, nothing against the Brits. It's kind of a mixed bag. They also did a lot to help get the momentum moving with Zionism. But I'm just pointing out that the troops were well trained. While the Haganah, it was illegal for our forces to train under the British rule, under the British mandate. So they had to train secretly versus being trained by, the premier empire of the world at that time. There's a saying that the sun never sets on the British Empire, right? They were all over the world. Kind of sad to have seen that decline. All right. So that's verse 29. Verse 30. I will scan it. Vatikana Mואב bayom hahu tachat-tahath Yisrael vatishkot haaretz shemonim shana. All right, now we will break it apart a bit more. Vatikana. So the verbal root is kaf, nun, ayin, kana, which in some languages, some Semitic languages like in Old Arabic means to bend the knee, right? Or to bend, and some it can mean like to bow. Usually it's already a metaphor in biblical Hebrew, so we understand it as to humble, right? Now this is a Niphal form. So in ancient Hebrew, we would have had something like tin kana. And if you're looking at my notes, you'll see there's a noon there, colorized, and it says ni for Niphal. Don't look, you don't have to look. Feel free to just do auditory only. The notes are only there for those who really need to see, because some people really have a hard time with auditory learning, and we don't want to make anything more difficult. This is supposed to help. Everything we do here is supposed to help you with your learning. If you find that any aspect of my teaching frustrates you, if when I'm talking about some detailed grammar and using grammatical terms, if that's frustrating you, you have my permission to tune it out. Just let it wash over you. I'm just trying to provide for the most number of learners that are out there, right? So there's all different kinds of people. Some people want to know every little detail, so sometimes I'll share more details. Some people just want to jump in and be immersed. They don't even need to know the grammatical structures and rules and such. I want to provide for those people too. Some prefer to hear, some prefer to see, some like colors, some like just to be able to imagine themselves or to look at their own book. So the proper way to use this channel is to just try to take away some amount of learning every day while being immersed in the sacred word of God, well, in the scriptures, in the Kitvei HaKodesh, okay? That is the intent. So don't let it bother you if you don't understand something or something's frustrating. You can ask in the live chat, or you can ask in the comments, or you can ask, come and join us on the Telegram app, t.me, like me, / Hebrew literacy. And that's a non-sectarian channel. So it doesn't matter if you are Orthodox Jewish, if you are Roman Catholic, if you are Baptist, or if you are Eastern Orthodox. As long as you believe in the God of Israel, you are more than welcome there. And we even have, I think we even have a couple of Muslims there. So even those who don't believe in the God of Israel, they have a different God that they think is the God of Israel, you're also welcome. You're welcome to come and learn. If your goal is to learn, if you want to understand biblical Hebrew, you can be there. We have another channel that fits more to our sectarian understanding here, and you can ask about that if you like. But if you go to t.me / Hebrew literacy, you're going to land in the screening area, okay? You won't land directly in the room because we want to screen you to make sure, just to get to know you a little bit, and then we'll let you in. So don't think, what, there's only 6 people here? No. The chat room has many more people than that. This is just to check you out first, to try to protect our members, okay? And there's no cost. Everyone's welcome. Come on over. And there's many students. They help each other. A lot of times, I don't have to help anybody because the students help each other. But you can ask your questions there if you want to get a faster response than posting on YouTube. All right. So vatin-ka'na, passive, became vatik-ka'na. So it's feminine. It's feminine. It looks exactly the same as second person masculine. It could mean, and you were humbled, but we're talking about Moab. Countries are feminine. So, and she was humbled. And here comes the subject, Moab. And Moab was humbled. Bayom hahu. Just like in verse 29, we had ba'ait-ha-he, in the time that one, literally in the time the she. Now we have the same pattern, in, the, yom, day, the, who, the he, in the day the he. Because ait is feminine, so that's she, and yom is masculine, so it's he. So in the day the he, which really is in that day. Vatik-ka'na Moav bayom hahu. And Moab was humbled in that day. Tachat yad Yisrael. Tachat, under, yad, the hand of Yisrael. We say the hand because in a construct chain, if the last word's a name, everything before it we try to say the. Like we would try to say the tachat, the under, the hand of Israel. But it doesn't sound good, so you can drop that first the. Tachat, underneath, yad Yisrael, the hand of Israel. And again, I like to share that tachat, if you read it like Ashkenazi pronunciation, that's the German Jewish or like European Jewish pronunciation, tachat is tachas. And that's where we get the Yiddish word tuchas, your ass. So this is a nice mnemonic for remembering. Your tuchas is tachas, you. It's underneath you. Tachat yad Yisrael. Or if we do the full thing with Ashkenazi, tachas yad Yisrael. Okay. Continuing on. Vatishkot ha'aretz. Va-tu-shkot. The verb is sheen, kof or kuf, however you like to call it, tet. Shakat means to be quiet. And you might have heard an Israeli father yelling at his children, shakat, or telling somebody, shakat, shut up. Sheket is an imperative, be quiet. Tishkot. tishkot means you will be quiet. Tishkot, young man, you will be quiet. Or tishkot, she will be quiet. The forms look the same. Just like we had him at the beginning of verse 30, tikana, I said, could mean she will be humbled or you will be humbled. Okay? The forms just happen to be identical. Context, it's almost never ambiguous what's being discussed. So don't let that bother you that the forms are the same. So tishkot means she will be quiet. But then we have a vav conversive. Va tishkot. And she will be quiet becomes and she was quiet. Right? The vav is changing the aspect. Instead of will be or you will be, it becomes was. And was quiet, and here comes the subject, ha'aretz, the land. Ha, the aretz, the land. Vatishkot ha'aretz, and the land was quiet. Shemonim shana. Shemonim, shin mem, vav nun. Excuse me, I wasn't able to hit pause in time. Shemonim means 80, 80. Shemonim, 80, shana, year. Vatishkot ha'aretz, and the land was quiet. You can maybe interpret calm. Shemonim, shana, 80 year, meaning there's no war. All right, one more time through verse 30. Vatikana Moav, and Moav was humbled. Literally, bent the knee in the older understanding. Bayom hahu, in the yom, the hu, the he, in that day. Tachat, by the tuchas of Yad Yisrael, or Yad Yisroel, by the hand of Israel, or the authority of Israel. Tachat, under Yad, the hand, or the authority, the power of Yisrael. Israel. Vatishkot ha'aretz, and ha'aretz was quiet. Shemonim shana, 80 year. And you might even know shana if you haven't learned it yet. If you've been to any kind of in the holiday celebrations, we sing L'shana haba'a b'Yerushalayim, L'shana haba'a b'Yerushalayim. Right, next year, next Shana in Jerusalem. May it be so. Oh, how I miss Israel. It's really hard being away from the land, especially in times of war. I know, I feel kind of guilty not being there. But I can't serve anyway. They wouldn't let me serve. I was too old. I tried to join IDF and they said, you're too old. Too old. 26 is the absolute maximum age if you have a waiver to join. Not to stand, but to join. So, I don't know. Feel a bit guilty sometimes about that. All right, verse 31. I think we'll go for it. We're at 28 minutes. What do I do? What do I do? All right, maybe we'll go a little bit longer. I'll try to keep it under 35 minutes, okay? But I might speed it up a bit here. You can slow it down when you listen later, all right? Verse 31, I'll just read, I'll scan it. Ve'achariv haya. Now we're going to get a name. Shamgar ben Anath. Vayach et Plishtim. Haha. Just like today. Shesh me'ot ish b'malmad habakar. Vayosha gam hu et Yisrael. Okay? Ve'achariv. Ve'achariv. Ve, that's a vav, and achar, aleph, chet resh, after Iv, after him. Ve'achariv, meaning after Ehud. We're going to get another judge, right? Ve'achariv, another hero. Ve'achariv, and after him, Haya, Hey, Yod, Hey. There was Shamgar, Shin, Mem, Gimel, Resh, that's his name. Shamgar, Ben Anath, and this is a construct chain. And since Anath is a name, we say the Ben, the son of Anath. Vayach et plishtim. And he nachad. That's that verb nacha again. Again, the noon is gone and the hay's gone. We're only left with the kaf. So it's actually vayach. And he smote. And he smote my foe on the mountainside. No. And he smote et plishtim, the Philistines. Sheish me'ot ish. 600. 100 is me'ah. Me'ah. Mem aleph he. Me'ah. Sheish is 6. Sheish, 6. Me'ot, hundreds. Ish. Aleph yod shin. Man. What did he smite them with? B'malmad habakar. The bait. Oftentimes bait can express an instrumental purpose. So here it means with malmad. Mem, lamed, mem, dalet. If you're looking at the screen, I have it defined. It's only one time this word in all of the Hebrew scriptures. It also shows up in the book, I think just once, Yeshua ben Sirah. In the book, Yeshua, son of Sirah, also known as Sirach. It's one time there, although that's an extra biblical work, but definitely an interesting wisdom book from the Second Temple period. So malmad, with the comments, is a goad or a prod, right? It's like a stick with a little piece of metal on the tip. It's the root is lamad, to teach. It's like for teaching cattle or goats not to wander off, right? So with bait, with a malmad habakar, it's a construct change. So with the prod or the goad of the bakar, the cow, with a cattle prod. Okay? B'malmad habakar. He killed these guys. He smote. Vayach et plishtim sheish me'ot ish. And he smote 600 Philistines. Ish. Amen. Be-malmad. With a malmad of habakar. With a prod or a goad of the cow. Vayosha. Vayosha. And the verb is yod shin ayin. The first yod is gone, as oftentimes happens. And the yod that you hear, the yo, it's because he. Yosha means he will save or he will rescue. And then the vav conversive changes it. Va, and he, yosha, he rescued, he saved. Gam, who. Gam, also, who, he, et Yisrael. And he, sometimes the gam is like indeed, so this could be like he definitely saved Israel, but we'll be literal. Vayosha gam hu, and he saved, also he, et Yisrael, or rescued, had a victory. One more time too with verse 31. Ve'achariv, and after him, haya Shamgar ben Ranath. There was Shamgar, son of Ranath. Vayach, and he nachad, he smote et Plishtim, the Philistines. Sheish me'ot ish, 600 men. Be-malmad, with a malmad of habakar, of the cattle. So with a cattle prod, with a goat prod. Oops, I wrote goad instead of goat. Vayosha, and he saved. Gam, who, also he, et Israel, also Israel. Wait, all right, we have 1 minute left. I'm going to read 29, 30, and 31. You do your best to understand, okay? Judges 3, verse 29. Vayakku, and they nachad et Mואב, ba'et hahi, ka'aseret alafim, ish kol shamen, vechol ish chayil, velo nimlat ish. Verse 30. Vatikkana Mואב bayom hahu, tachat yad Yisrael. Vatishkot haaretz shemonim shana. ואחריו היה שמגר בן ענף, ויך את פלישתים 600 איש במלמד הבקר, ויושע גם הוא את ישראל. One final time through at a normal pace. Just do your best to try to understand. This time I won't announce verse numbers. Judges 3 verses 29 to 31, the end of the chapter. ויכו את מואב בעת ההיא כעשרת אלפים, איש כל שמן וכל איש חיל, ולא נמלט איש. ותיכנע מואב ביום ההוא תחת יד ישראל, ותשקוט הארץ 80 שנה. ואחריו היה שמגר בן ענת, ויך את פלישתים 600 איש במלמד הבקר, ויושע גם הוא את ישראל. All right, guys, have a blessed rest of your day. I will hear or see you tomorrow for Exodus, our Exodus study. Be well. Shalom, shalom.